Thank you, Dr. Sajjad, for the nice presentation. Any questions from the audience? इससे पहले presentation चले गए, मैं आंसर नहीं करूँगा. Okay?
My question is from the last speaker. In the absence of microcatheter, is there any way to embolize the material distally? Like, can we use export catheter, or is there any other way to seal that distal perforation with the wire?
This was a bit clumsy. Can you hear me? So what you essentially need is a microcatheter or any form of a microcatheter. If you think that some of your coils are actually compatible with an OTW, an over-the-wire balloon, you can even use that. There is nothing against using an export catheter. There's nothing against using an export catheter, but there would be one issue. There would be one issue. You only have one port. If you use the port that is attached to the syringe, that would be it. Personally, I have never used an export catheter, but I don't see anything against it. In fact, it's got a much bigger lumen, so you might be able to send down some of those tornado coils. The tornado coils are actually fibered coils, so you might even be able to send those down, which are actually much better.
I have one question. Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Usually, when we see perforation, they are in the pericardial cavity. How about if the perforation is in the cavity, cavity spilling in the chamber, and patient is hemodynamically stable, would we still need to seal that or not? The other question is that for how long, if you put a covered stent, how long you're going to give DAPT therapy, because they said that they do not get endothelized. So how long DAPT should be given to a person who has been placed with a covered stent?
Thank you for your questions. So the first one is cavity spilling, which is a type 4 perforation. I did not talk about them because we're more focused always on type 3 and type 5. Now, usually they would happen with RCA, and the perforation would be, say, into a right ventricle or right atrium. Now, usually those are inconsequential. So if they're inconsequential hemodynamically and they're not life-threatening, we wouldn't do anything about them. So we just leave them as such. That's one. The second thing was about DAPT. Now, we have to remember that the covered stents are essentially bare metal stents, because you either have a single stent with an external coat, or you have two stents, metal platforms, with a PTFE sandwich in between. So essentially, it would be like a bare metal stent, because that's all there is to it. There is no drug elution in this case. However, this is just a personal experience. I have, there was this stent M by the name of M-Guard that we used for a while. It was essentially a covered stent. We used to use it for some thrombotic lesions as well. This was way back about 10, 15 years ago when the stent was very new. And it was used for some perforation sealing as well. Now, we did a cardiac CT for about 25 to 30 patients later on. And some of these patients also had coronary angiographies. And the restenosis rate was about 42%. So I don't have data on GraftMaster restenosis, but M-Guard essentially has a similar construct to probably the PK papyrus, because it's a single PTFE layer. Okay, so we saw about ISR of 42%. Okay, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Colonel Sajjad Singh. That was quite
DAPT therapy
elaborated
would
answer.
be the same for a bare metal stent. Yeah, thank you.
We come to end of our session, and I'll hand over the mic to Dr. Jalal Achakzai for the next session.